Hi, I am Mariah. I'm 38 and my normal is a balancing act that most people can't see. I am a student, a caregiver, and a co-founder, but I'm also fighting type 2 diabetes, epilepsy, and ADHD. And I'm nearly deaf. Being a neurodivergent in a world designed for a typical is one thing. Doing it while managing blood sugar and seizure thresholds is another. I'm not just building Ash and Press for fun. I'm building it because my life depends on creating a foundation that works for my body, not against it. Because when you're in a world that says you can't do something, you find a way around it. Have you ever tried to write a 2,000-word essay in college where your blood sugar is crashing? Or tried to focus on a psychology lecture when your ADHD is pulling you in 10 directions and your diabetes is causing brain fog? It's not just about the work. It's about the physical costs of the work. I have to manage my glucose with the same precision I use for my academic citation. If one thing is off, it throws the whole system. This is the ash, the grit behind the degree. Being nearly deaf adds to the isolation of the hustle. I use a Bluetooth hearing aid to consume my audiobooks and lectures, but the mental energy it takes to hear is exhausting. Combine that with epilepsy, where the stress is a literal trigger, you realize my studies sessions are a tactical mission. I have to create low sensory, high focus environmental just to survive a single chapter. My grandpa taught me that to use tech as a force to manipulator, and my hearing aids are my frontline gear. Because I am a caregiver for my mom, which means my needs often come last. But as a diabetic and epileptic, putting myself last can be dangerous. I'm managing her wheelchair logistics and her health while my own body is sending out the warning signs. It is a high-stakes game of survival because we are trapped in a place that is not designed for wheelchair-bound user because of concrete stairs out the front door. That stress of the environment is a constant weight on my neurological health. I am fighting for a home where we can both breathe, where she can easily get out the door without having to, as one would say, practically throw herself out the door. People ask why me and Anna are launching 5 channels and a publishing house, why dealing with all this. The simple answer is this. The oak. Ash and oak press is our path to an accessible life. I use my ADHD as a creative engine. Total general fluidity is my superpower. I can pivot from a general psychological engineer into a culinary legacy because my brain is wired for complexity. I'm using the ash of my struggle to fertilize the business that will eventually graduate my family off of assistance forever. My epilepsy and neurodivergence make me hyper-aware of my surroundings. In my brand, the sensory storyteller, I turn that hyper-awareness into an asset instead of a disadvantage. I describe the world with visceral details because I've experienced the world with visceral intensity. Every smell in the kitchen, every vibration of sound I can't quite hear, it all goes into the craft. I am taking neurological static of my life and turning it into a professional frequency for our readers. Because I have no other way to describe the world around me without wanting to scream. My grandpa taught me the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, and act. As an epileptic and diabetic, I use this every hour. If I feel a flicker in my vision or shakiness in my hands, I don't panic. I observe the symptoms, orient to my blood sugar or stress level, decide on the intervention, and act. This is a military discipline. It is what keeps me in my SNHU classes when my body wants to quit. It's a tactical survival applied to humanity when all else fails. Because I do not want to have a trip to the ER again. Because trust me, I don't like the ER. I spent enough time in them. Living in a home with crumbling concrete stairs isn't just a physical barrier, it's a neurological trigger. The constant stress of knowing I can't get my mom out in an emergency raises my cortisols, which spikes my glucose and lowers my seizure thresholds. Architectural is currently a health hazard. We are fighting for a barrier-free home because for us, accessibility isn't a luxury. It's a medical necessity to keep me stable enough to work and to make sure my mom can be taken care of. Because why should my mom have to suffer for something that is not totally either one of our faults? Despite the diabetes, cooking remains my heart. My grandma taught me that even when you have nothing, the kitchen is a creative outlet. I have a degree in culinary arts, but I now learn through the adapted chef way. It is managing my mom's wheelchair in a cramped space while I manage our own low-income food options. We're proving that disability doesn't end a legacy. It just requires us to be more innovative in the way we cook. It doesn't matter how much you make. It matters on how you are willing to stretch that budget. Because I am nearly deaf and have ADHD, I have to fortify my information. I don't just read. I have to anoint and achieve everything with a soldier's precision. My creative assets at Ash and Oak Press are backed up and indexed because my brain fog might steal a memory, but my systems won't. This is how a neurodivergent co-founder stays ahead of the curve, by building existential systems that are stronger than my internal static, which for many who are ADHD, it is a struggle. Because I have just entered my third term at SNHU, I'm specializing in the psychology fortification. I'm 38 and I treat my education like a tactical mission. Every essay is a battle against ADHD distractions and diabetic lethargic. But I'm building characters for the Ash and Oak, who are the structural sound as I am becoming. We are engineering empath by showing the world that resilience is deliberate. It's deliberating, exhausting, and beautiful process. So this is the Ash, the diabetes, the epilepsy, and the deafness, and the struggle. But look closer, and you'll see the oak rising. We are building the media network to graduate office assistants into independence. My mom worked so hard so we could eat. Now I'm fighting so she can finally cook in a safe home. We aren't victims of our health. We are the architect of our rebirth. Join the journey. Let us build something unyielding.